Hello everyone out there, this is Black American Indian, and this video I thought about doing for a while, but I'm at a place right now where I can talk about it. And there's 3 topics of discussion in this video, and maybe some random stuff too, because you know how I end up talking. Something just pops up in my head and I just go ahead and just start talking about it. But anyway, this video will be about language, genealogy, and native foods. So, as far as language, it's really been on me to learn my indigenous native tongue. And it bothers me that we are kind of pushed to learn someone else's language. Like right now I'm speaking English, of course. And many jobs, in the video I did once before talking about language, it was about having to learn Spanish or some other major language. You have to be bilingual. And a lot of people who are bilingual, they're at a better, they're more marketable, let's just put it that way. But despite all of that, I really am passionate about learning my native tongue. I really think it's important. And I am going to just reference this Indivisible African Native American Lives in Americas. I'm just going to reference this book. There's some great scholars in this book, and I'm just going to go ahead and reference a few things about language. Now, some people don't want to realize it, but indigenous people with black blood have the hardest time with records and everything else. And I'm just speaking as far as indigenous Americans and then the African, the sub-Saharan African blood. Some people, and I've been attacked too by some who they're native and something else, and they figure, why are you complaining? You know, why you always have something to say about the black and all this and blah blah. You're trying to separate us. You know, we're indigenous, so why are you trying to separate us just because you have the black blood or whatever? And long story short, there were laws that were created to conquer and divide and to separate races as far as indigenous American and black. And I'll get to that in a minute. But when I think about language, I believe that that's our identity. I am not an English woman. I am not from England. So even though I live in this country because, you know, my ancestors, you know, are from here, but we speak a foreign language. English is a foreign language to this continent, ladies and gentlemen. English is a foreign language. French is a foreign language. Spanish is a foreign language, okay? And etc., etc. So I want to learn my native tongue. And maybe I get, you know, I'm more marketable with it, maybe not, but I feel like my ancestors are leading me to embrace the language, okay? This is something, again, I've been thinking about for a while. And when I was in school, in this institution, getting my, you know, education that way, I was putting off things I really care about, you know, trying to get that degree, trying to do this so I can be marketable, so I can get a job and pay bills. Now that I'm done with school, I have this extra time where I can focus on what matters to me, okay? So if you have this book, or if you're planning on getting this book, I am referring to page 114, okay? And I'm just going to kind of drop down to the sentence that starts with, there also exist, okay? There also exists a series of studies on triracial isolates by William Gilbert. Articles describing this community as mysterious or as an outcast clan are seen throughout the first half of the 20th century. Now, this is what, no, that's not it. I'll come back to that. I don't want to talk about that just yet. Here we go. Sorry. Page 112. Okay. The last paragraph. It says, Thomas Jefferson's notes on the Powhatan in Virginia reflect a similar sense of diminished tribal integrity relative to the level of black appearance. He states, there remain of the Pattapones 3 or 4 men only, and they have more Negro than Indian blood in them. They have lost their language, have reduced themselves by voluntary sales to about 50 acres of land, which lie on the river of their own name, and have from time to time been joining the Pamunkey's, from whom they are distant but 10 miles. In other words, Jefferson lauds or brags or praise the Pamunkey's for their pure blood. Okay, so that was Thomas Jefferson's opinion about the Mattaponi people, which they're in Virginia. They're near Richmond, Virginia. So anyway, the point I was trying to make here, and I made a highlight and an underline, it says they have lost their language. So okay, so I'm like, okay, that's been one out of several times I've come across something about language. Language, living on the land, your ancestors' land, being known amongst the community outside of your community, aka white folks who acknowledge you as being Native American. So if you're known as Native American, you live on your ancestry land, you have your language, you speak your language, and religion, then that in a nutshell identifies you as being indigenous to this continent, okay? Or I would say Western Hemisphere, but I'm just using the United States right now, okay, as an example. And for the state of Virginia, where I got this information from. So, yeah, so anyway, I actually started learning on my own, my native tongue. I know how to count from 1 to 5. I know how to say God. I'm learning how to say I love you. And I know how to say yes. And believe it or not, and I believe in Cherokee as well, the language, to say yes is uh-huh. Now, I'm always saying uh-huh. And now I know, I'm like, okay, so all this time I've been saying yes in my native tongue. I'm like, wow. Of course, we've adopted certain terms and things of that nature from indigenous populations in the Americas. For instance, the tomahawk is an indigenous language, indigenous word. So saying uh-huh, okay, in the English language, we're told don't say uh-huh, just say yes. Don't say yeah, don't say uh-huh, say yes. So all this time, even though I may have been speaking improper English, where I'm from, when we say yes, we say uh-huh, or if we're agreeing with you, or if we suspect, something ain't right. We say, uh-huh. But anyways, all this time in speaking at least a couple of words here and there that was known as being improper English, Southern dialect or whatever. All this time I've been saying yes when I meant yes. Okay. Another word is thanks. And to say thanks is yo. Wow. So, for instance, I've been approached by guys, depending on the type of guys, but the ones I'm referring to have been black and something else, or mixed, or just black, and they would get your attention by saying yo, 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 like that. Now, of course, that's hello, hey, look over here. That's what that really means. But yo in my native tongue means thanks. So, yeah. So I'm excited. Right now, I don't know how to spell it, of course. The words like 1 through 5 and God. There's a lot of accents, and there's this, forgot what you call that little symbol above an N. N as in Nancy. There's like a little, almost looks like a snake. Not sure what that's called. But anyway, so there's a lot of those little markings. So I look at myself as a babe. Okay, I am a preschooler, and I am learning my language, and I compare myself to, like I said, a preschooler, because they may not necessarily know how to say the words properly, but they understand you. And when they try to talk, you're like, okay, I kind of understand what you're trying to say. And then most parents or guardians, they kind of play along with the kids to encourage them to speak. I was babysitting one of my friend's kids, and he's 2, and he knows what you're saying, but he's still trying to, form the words and stuff. So if, let's say, he wants for instance, he'll call my name, and I know what he's saying. He'll say ka. The cutest little thing. And then he knows his shapes. He knows circle. He said circle. And then triangle. He said triangle. The point I'm trying to make is he understands what it means, what it looks like, and he's trying to communicate. But it takes a while, and he's not going to learn how to actually write it until he's like 5, 6 years old. Usually that's when kids learn how to spell their names, unless you're more advanced. But the point is, that's where I'm at. Okay, so I'm taking it one day at a time. I listen to the numbers and stuff on my iPod. So I listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over. So once I get the 1 through 10 and a couple of phrases here and there, I'm going to learn how to spell it. Okay? I'm going to learn how to spell it, handwrite it, and also spelling it with the keyboard. Because the keyboard, certain accents and symbols, you have to shift and control and all that. So I need to learn how to do that. But I'm very, very excited because I'm taking upon myself to learn my native tongue. I am connected with a couple of other people that are very interested in it, and I may end up having the opportunity to sign up for classes. Not sure if it's going to be, very expensive or what. YouTube is great too to listen to some people speak the language, but I don't think they speak it as well as, let's say, a professional linguistic person. So anyway, this video pretty much was about language, and I just pointed out again from this book, page 112, last paragraph, among other things. But this is part 1, and I will continue with part 2. I'll be right back. Yo!